Alright, last class we drew our bulldog. Today we're going to add color to our bulldog. This is part 2 of what will end up being a 3-step process. Now, if you remember, we talked about analogous color patterns. You remember analogous color patterns or analogous color patterns are those that fall next to each other on the color wheel. So, for example, orange, yellow, and green would be an analogous color pattern. Or violet, red, and orange. Now, when we go to color our bulldog, we want to stay within the analogous color pattern. To help me make sure I stay in color order, I have arranged my chalk pastels in an analogous color order. Now, you want to start with your light color, so I'm going to start with yellow up here. Now, when you go to color your bulldog, notice how I'm leaving some white spots, and every so often I'm going to dust off the dust from the chalk. We're going to leave white spots because once we get done coloring, we're going to use liquid starch, and we're actually going to blend our colors. So every so often, just kind of make sure you dust out. All right, so I used yellow, the gold, so now I'm going to add some orange. And we've got red. Okay. Different sections can be different colors. So I could either continue my color scheme through here, or since I can break up my sections. For mine, what I actually want to do is I think I want to make my face all warm colors, and then I'm going to make his jowls and the inside of his ears cool colors. When we're going to color, don't color eyes or nose. We're going to do that in step 3, which we'll do next class. All right, and you don't have to color yours like I colored mine. You can do it however you like, just as long as you're sticking to color order and analogous color patterns. So I'm going to finish coloring with my warm colors real quick. You want to do all of the warm colors first, because we are only working with warm colors right now. Don't mess with your cool colors. Do you know? So warm colors are orange, yellow, and red. Cool colors are green, blue, and violet. So warm colors, red, orange, yellow. Cool colors, green, blue, and violet. All right. Ever so often, make sure you're dusting off your paper. And then I think his mouth over here is going to be red. Okay. Now that I've got my warm colors done, it's time to blend. So using the liquid starch, I'm going to dip my finger in just a little bit. And you want to start with your lightest color first. So since yellow is my lightest color, I'm going to come over here and using my liquid starch, I'm going to smooth and blend this color. Just a little bit. If you get too much liquid starch, it's going to make it smeared and it's not going to look pretty. It's going to get gross and you're going to get all kinds of colors. Now, it is important that you stick with the lightest color first, working your way down to your darker colors. Because those darker colors are going to mix in with your lighter colors. That's why we're only working with warm colors right now before we go to those darker, cool colors. So you're just going to keep going with just a little bit colored starch. You're going to keep Keep blending your chalk pastels. All right. Once you have successfully blended all of your warm colors using your liquid starch, it is now time to add our cool colors. Remember, the cool colors are going to be our green, blue, and violet. So up here, I want to start, and I think I'm going to start with my violet down here. So I'm going to color in. And then blue. Green. All right. So we're going, now the last thing I need to do is fill in the ears. I think we're going to make his ears, what color do I want to do the inside of his ears? I think I'm going to go with that light green. So I'm just going to do his ears one color. All right, and now we're going to do the same thing we just did before. Dip your finger in the liquid starch, starting with the lightest color, which in this case is my green. I'm going to start blending using the liquid starch. And I'm just going to make my way up until I have blended my entire bulldog. Be very careful when you're blending, now that you're using those dark colors, because you don't want to get it on your other colors, or it's going to start to make your colors look very dark and gray and kind of gross looking. So stick to the technique of starting with the lighter colors first, working your way to your darker colors very carefully, very slowly, and make sure you're not blending over onto what you've already laid down. Okay, we're almost done. Let's fill in our little ears here. Again, make sure you're keeping your fingers clean so we're not mixing colors. If you get a little outside of the lines, that's okay. Because in our next step, we're actually going to outline our bulldog, and we're adding patterns using the oil pastel. So it's going to clean up some of our mistakes. All right, so that's it for part 2. Pretty simple. We added color using chalk pastels. After our chalk pastels had been laid down, we used liquid starch, and we helped to blend our colors together. We're going to let this dry, and then we'll come back for our part 3, and we will add the oil pastels and our watercolors.